No one is illegal on stolen land.
It was a night that many music fans had been waiting for, a celebration of artistry, passion, and the very best in the industry. And while the glitz, glamour, and glitter of one of the biggest award shows seemed to promise only excitement and applause, one moment managed to ripple across social media in ways few could have predicted. That moment involved none other than the multi-talented, boundary-pushing artist, Billie Eilish. Known for her haunting voice, her bold style, and her unflinching honesty, Billie has always stood out, not just for her music, but for the way she speaks her truth. But on this particular night, a speech she delivered left audiences divided, sparking widespread discussion, debate, and, in some corners, backlash. Tonight, we're going to dive deep into exactly what happened, exploring the context of Billie Eilish's Grammy speech, the public reaction that followed, and the larger conversation it has ignited about the pressures of fame, the power of words, and the expectations placed on artists in today's cultural landscape. The Grammy Awards are an event unlike any other. For decades, they've represented both the pinnacle of success for musicians and a stage where their influence can be felt far beyond the stage. Every acceptance speech is a window into an artist's world, a glimpse into what drives them, what inspires them, and sometimes what frustrates them. Billie Eilish has been no stranger to the Grammys. From a young age, she has captivated audiences with her distinct sound, blending introspective lyricism with experimental production. Her style, both musical and personal, has challenged norms, inviting fans and critics alike to rethink what it means to be a pop star in the modern era. Yet, no matter how carefully she has navigated the spotlight, the Grammys remain a high-pressure environment, one where every word is amplified, every glance dissected, and every reaction magnified by the global stage. And it was within this environment that her speech became the focus of intense discussion. According to available footage and reports from attendees, Billie's speech was brief but undeniably poignant. Standing on that iconic stage, dressed in her signature style, she began by thanking her team, her fans, and her family, acknowledging the collective effort behind her success. But as the speech progressed, she shifted tone, offering reflections that some interpreted as critical or challenging, and others saw as a candid look at the realities of fame. It's important to note that speeches at major award shows are often multi-layered. Artists frequently balance gratitude, humor, and subtle social commentary. Billie's approach, some observers suggest, leaned heavily toward honesty and self-expression, rather than traditional ceremonious applause lines. And while many praised this authenticity, not everyone received it positively. Public speculation quickly emerged online. Clips of the speech circulated on social media platforms, accompanied by a flurry of commentary. Some viewers felt that Billie's remarks were confrontational or dismissive, while others argued that her words were being misinterpreted or taken out of context. The conversation became a microcosm of a larger debate about the role of celebrity, the expectations placed on public figures, and the balance between authenticity and diplomacy. As with many moments in the age of social media, the response was immediate and intense. Hashtags began trending, fan pages lit up, and news outlets picked up the story. Commentary ranged from supportive to critical, reflecting the diversity of perspectives within her global audience. Supporters highlighted Billie's courage in speaking honestly. They noted that her words might resonate with many who have experienced the pressures of success, the weight of public scrutiny, or the challenges of growing up in the public eye. For these fans, her speech was a reminder that even pop icons are human, navigating complex emotions and societal expectations. Critics, on the other hand, questioned the appropriateness of certain statements. Some argued that the tone of her remarks clashed with the celebratory nature of the event, suggesting that audiences expected a more traditional expression of gratitude. Others debated whether her comments could be seen as dismissive toward her peers or the industry that has celebrated her achievements. Interestingly, this debate reflected a familiar tension in celebrity culture: the desire for authenticity versus the expectation of decorum. Artists are often asked to be both outspoken and agreeable, bold yet polite, candid yet measured. When an artist like Billie chooses to prioritize honesty, it can spark admiration but also criticism, highlighting the fine line public figures must walk. Looking closer at the media response, it becomes clear that coverage itself played a significant role in shaping public perception. Headlines, while not necessarily misleading, emphasized the controversy angle, framing the moment as divisive or shocking. Some reports suggested a backlash, while others focused on fan support, creating a polarized narrative. It's worth noting that media framing can influence how audiences interpret events. By highlighting disagreement or conflict, coverage can amplify tension and encourage debate, sometimes at the expense of nuance. In the case of Billie Eilish, the way her speech was reported may have contributed to the perception that she was being widely criticized, even as many voices expressed support and understanding. This phenomenon is not unique to Billie. Many artists throughout history have faced similar scrutiny when choosing to speak honestly or challenge expectations. The difference today is the speed and scale of social media, where every clip, comment, and reaction is instantly accessible to millions worldwide. One of the most intriguing aspects of this moment is what it reveals about the current state of fame. Billie Eilish is part of a generation of artists who prioritize authenticity and vulnerability. From her music to her public appearances, she often addresses mental health, self-image, and societal pressures in ways that resonate with fans on a personal level. This approach, however, comes with challenges. The same honesty that endears her to some audiences can be polarizing to others. Public figures are often expected to conform to an idealized standard, offering messages that are uplifting, safe, and widely palatable. When an artist deviates from this, even slightly, reactions can be swift and intense. Billie's speech can be seen as a reflection of this tension. She expressed herself in a way that felt true to her experience, even if it risked misunderstanding. In doing so, she sparked a conversation about the expectations placed on artists and the ways in which society both celebrates and critiques those in the public eye. Beyond the immediate reaction, this moment has prompted a larger cultural conversation. Discussions about Billie's speech have touched on topics such as mental health in the music industry, the pressures of celebrity, and the evolving nature of public performance. Experts in media and entertainment have weighed in, noting that moments like this can illuminate the often hidden struggles artists face behind the scenes. Fans and commentators alike have explored the implications of speaking candidly in high-profile settings. Some argue that authenticity should be valued over performative politeness, suggesting that the courage to be honest, even at risk of criticism, is a vital part of modern artistry. Others caution that timing, tone, and context remain important, particularly when addressing a global audience. What emerges from this debate is a nuanced understanding of public life. Fame is not just about music or awards. It's about navigating a complex web of expectations, perceptions, and cultural norms. Billie Eilish's speech, in this sense, becomes more than a moment on stage. It's a lens through which we can examine broader questions about honesty, pressure, and the human side of celebrity. If you thought this was just a typical award show moment, think again. What happened next is what truly shows the ripple effect of one speech. The internet exploded with commentary from both unexpected voices and familiar supporters. Discussions spilled over into interviews, podcasts, and fan forums. Some people questioned the industry itself, how awards are structured, how artists are celebrated, and how young performers are supported under the intense spotlight of global fame. Even beyond music, this conversation touched on societal expectations for young people in the public eye. Billie's words, whether intentionally provocative or simply candid, sparked reflection on how we as audiences respond to honesty, particularly when it challenges conventional norms. Moments like this are rarely contained to a single event or platform. They ripple outward, influencing perceptions, shaping narratives, and sometimes inspiring change. For artists like Billie, public reaction can affect not only how they are seen, but how they choose to engage with the industry in the future. Some experts suggest that this type of scrutiny is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it keeps artists accountable and engaged with their audiences. On the other, it can create pressure that limits creative freedom, making it harder to take risks or speak openly. Billie's speech, therefore, may serve as a case study in the balance between personal expression and public expectation, a challenge that many public figures navigate throughout their careers. A critical takeaway from this situation is the role of intent in communication. While interpretations of Billie's speech varied, what remains clear is that her intent was to express herself authentically. Whether audiences agreed or disagreed, her words were part of a broader conversation about honesty, artistry, and the experience of young artists in high-pressure environments. This raises an important question. How do we, as audiences, interpret and respond to public figure statements? In a world where sound bites and headlines often dominate perception, it can be easy to miss nuance or context. Billie's speech reminds us that words carry layers of meaning, and that understanding intent often requires looking beyond the immediate reactions. Ultimately, this episode with Billie Eilish is about more than controversy. It's about humanity, vulnerability, and the courage to speak one's truth in a world that constantly watches, comments, and judges. It invites reflection on how we relate to those in the public eye, and how we balance admiration with understanding, critique with empathy. Perhaps the real story isn't about a speech or a backlash, but about the dialogue it creates, about the power of voice, the complexity of fame, and the shared experience of navigating life under scrutiny. In a sense, Billie's words, however interpreted, become a mirror, reflecting not only her own journey, but also the ways in which we engage with honesty, vulnerability, and courage in our own lives. What do you think about Billie Eilish's Grammy speech and the reactions that followed? Did her words strike a chord with you, or did they make you reconsider the pressures of fame? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your perspective. If you found this exploration insightful, give the video a like and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the stories shaping music, culture, and the world around us. Every story has layers, and together we can uncover them.